Peace, fam. Hey, this is Charles here with your midweek recharge. And this week, as we look forward to Thanksgiving this time next week, I want to take a moment and not so much focus on gratitude, which is always important, but actually to take a moment and to focus on, reflect on the challenge of Christianity. And I know it's interesting, and I apologize. I may have already alienated a significant portion of my audience, but I have to speak my heart and share my heart, and I am compelled to specifically address those that identify themselves as being believers and followers of Christ. And what I want to challenge you to do this week is to think truly and deeply about what that means, because there has always been, there is currently, there was centuries ago, and centuries on centuries ago, there was much done in the name of Christ. There was much done in Jesus's name. And what I want us to reflect on is, what does it mean to be a follower of Jesus Christ? What does it mean to be a Christian? And for me, I will share my perspective. It really comes down to kind of a single fundamental illustration. It's one of my favorites. It's one that my friends and I use and reflect on often. It comes from Scripture, and it's very agrarian. It feels very scriptural too. And it's this, is that you can always tell the kind of tree that is there based on the fruit that it produces. You know, you can tell the source of something based on what comes from that thing. Make it even more abstract. I can tell that I have a pear tree in my backyard because every few years or so, I'll get pears on that tree in my backyard. I know that an apple orchard is full of apple trees because when I go to that orchard with my family, we are picking apples. I know that a blueberry bush is a blueberry bush because, you guessed it, there are blueberries on there. If you're a Christian, what kind of fruit should you be bearing? And are you bearing the kind of fruit that would identify you as a follower of Jesus? That's a personal question. That's a question that each and every one of us has to reflect on. There is a right answer, by the way. There absolutely is. This is not one of those, your perspective, my perspective. There is a very clear and straightforward, correct answer. Do you love your neighbor as yourself? Do you love God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength? Do you love your neighbor as yourself? That's the fruit that you bear as a Christian, the fruit of love. Loving God first and loving your neighbor as yourself. Later in Scripture, it actually says that you should love others better than yourself. There's another place in Scripture that actually questions us. Is it possible for us to love a God that we've never seen and hate our neighbor who we see all the time? Hate our brother who we see all the time? If you're a Christian, what's your fruit look like? That's your midweek recharge. Take care, fam.